We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the territory of the Mohegan, the Mashantucket, the Pequot, the Eastern Pequot, Schaghticoke, Golden Hill Paugussett, Nipmuc, and Lenape peoples, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We thank them for their strength and resilience in protecting this land and aspire to uphold our responsibilities according to their example. Graduates, loved ones, and faculty and staff, welcome to the 2021 Virtual Recognition Ceremony. Happy graduation on behalf of all of us at the UConn School of Social Work. We congratulate you on your achievement. We are proud to welcome 146 MSW graduates and our 16 BSW graduates to our profession. Every year, I commend graduates on having made it through, persevering, multitasking, tending to your loved ones, and making room for everything when it seems there is never enough time. However, you, the class of 2021, have the strange distinction of being the only graduating class in the 75 years since the School of Social Work was founded, of being here in the once-in-a-century worldwide pandemic. This affected your experience here, at home, and in the school in unprecedented ways, and yet you persevered. We are so proud of you. This year was, of course, very different in every imaginable way. For almost all of you, you've had the strange experience of spending only one full semester on campus. In March 2020, you, like all of us, had to immediately pivot to an online learning environment. For some of you, you needed to struggle with technology, internet access, and the experience of engaging online for hours at a time. In the field, many of you learned how to engage with clients and staff remotely, while agency practices varied widely. At home, many of you were providing increased caregiving to children and older parents in increasingly difficult circumstances. Many of you were also providing educational tutoring and supervision to your children who were also involved in remote learning. Some of you became sick with COVID, others were quarantined after exposure. Some lost your employment, others suffered significant financial strain. However, you remained focused on your studies, keeping a focus on the prize at the end. And here you are today, about to launch and forward your careers. BSW students, you are only the second cohort to graduate from our new program, which was successfully accredited this year. Some of you are headed off to advanced standing programs for your MSW, some to professional employment, others planning a gap year as you recoup and consider your next steps. MSW graduates, you are either seeking employment, readying for the license exam, and/or returning to previous employment in new positions reflected of your new graduate degree. I hope that all of you take a moment to pause, congratulate yourselves and each other. As I said at Convocation last August, there has never been a more urgent time for social work and for you as professional social workers. The world, the nation, our state, and our communities need you. You have answered the call for a vocation that centers respect for the well-being of individuals and communities, the need for diversity, the commitment to racial, social, and economic justice, and professional and ethical standards. You are ready. You have lived and struggled through these twin pandemics of COVID-19 and structural racism and the devastating effects of that racism on people of color and communities. You have struggled together to understand the historical origins of this racism and inequities and the ways in which that has been maintained through the generations. You've confronted your own fears and biases. You have pushed your faculty and administration to provide leadership on these issues. Through your very capable graduate student organization leadership, you brought immediate concerns to us, engaged in important dialogue. You have found ways to confront yourselves and each other, and to shift your lens and perspectives. You have raised questions with your supervisors and agencies about policies that concern you. And perhaps most important, you have held your clients as they demonstrated both hopelessness and resilience in the face of devastating personal losses and staggering ongoing societal injustices, from police killings to healthcare inequities exacerbated by the pandemic. Whether you joined social movements and protests, provided testimony at the state capitol, wrote opinion pieces, and/or focused on the development of skills and knowledge to prepare you to be your own kind of social work warrior, you heeded the call. Early on in your career, you learned about the social work pioneer, Bertha Capon Reynolds. She remains a model for us. She recognized the importance of a dual approach and focus in social work. The care for individuals must be combined with understanding and intervention of structural and institutional forces. Some of you chose to study the former, individuals, groups, and families, while others concentrated on policy, practice, and community organizing. Having lived through these twin pandemics, you are distinctly aware of the absolute necessity that social work and you hold these strands together. They inform each other and will be unsuccessful if separated. You are social workers. I and you owe a particular debt of gratitude to the loved ones who supported you, missed you, and shared you as you embarked on this educational journey. I hope that your return to each other is filled with joy, gratitude, and precious time together. I could not be prouder of each of you, and I am particularly proud to have you join this profession that I have loved for decades. I hope that you will find this calling, this vocation, as rewarding as I have.
Congratulations, class of 2021. I am so pleased to share in today's celebration of your accomplishments. Your UConn School of Social Work degree and all that you learned and experienced in this program will provide you with tools you need to be skilled clinicians, organizational leaders, advocates for community change, and even evaluation researchers. I wish you all tremendous success as you move forward to make a difference in the world. Next, I would like to move forward by introducing the University of Connecticut School of Social Work Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Joanne Corbin.
Congratulations to the graduates of the UConn School of Social Work. I am thrilled to welcome the graduates' families and friends to this celebration of commencement. We are so proud of this graduating class and all that they have accomplished. We are also proud with the expectant hopes of the work they will accomplish. But oh my, what a time to graduate as a social worker. There has never been a lack of areas in which social workers can contribute their knowledge, skills, and commitment. But this last year has shown us the breadth and the depth of what social workers can contribute and where social workers can provide hope and direction to a troubled world. These challenges may make your family and friends concerned about the work you are stepping into, but I can reassure them that you will be at the forefront of all change that is improving our society. This year alone, we have seen countless incidents of violence towards people of color, many of these incidents ending in death. The violence coming at the hands of both law enforcement and citizens can create fear and hopelessness. We can feel overwhelmed by the injustice and oppression. We have experienced a public health crisis, COVID-19, that affected and continues to affect everyone. Our graduates have worked with clients and communities to get access to needed health and mental health resources during this pandemic. They have had to allay the fears of clients dealing with employment and housing emergencies. Between the issues of racism and COVID-19, many in our world have had their family and social relationships disrupted. Social distance, quarantine, virtual medical visits, to name a few, are terms that have shaped our social worlds in the last year and have increased the isolation and lack of connection that far too many people have experienced. I'm sure you can name other challenges that we've experienced in this past year. Any one issue alone would be enough to fill one career. Our graduates today have faced these issues head-on and fully embodied the values and the principles of our profession in amazing ways. Our graduates have worked on these challenges with individuals, families, and communities. Client experiences of racism or the effect of COVID on health and relationships called them to reassure clients, empathize with their needs, and connect them to the appropriate resources. Some students have participated in contact tracing in collaboration with the State Department of Public Health. All students have had to help people in need and address social problems. Our graduates have challenged social injustice by mobilizing communities in Connecticut and across the nation to have their voices heard in the political arenas through actions such as voter empowerment and anti-racism efforts. Our graduates have influenced policies in the state legislature. They have testified before the state legislature on issues such as LGBTQ rights, disability rights, and destigmatizing mental health. They have been invited to work on committees developing legislation for the state. They do this to ensure the inherent dignity and worth of the person. Class of 2021, you seek to strengthen relationships among people to restore and enhance the well-being of individuals, families, and communities. You stand in the gap between hope and hopelessness, and justice and injustice for so many. The work that you will do is in society's best interest. You must continue to challenge injustice while providing hope and direction to those who have lost hope against the mountain of injustice. You must continue to shine the light on populations that are not getting the health and mental health resources that they need, particularly those that experience social disconnection now more than ever. I leave you with a quote from the Talmud. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Graduates, congratulations on completing your course of study and working to create a more just and inclusive society. We will now hear from two student speakers, one from our MSW program and another from our BSW program. Keeping to our long-standing tradition, there will be one speech presented in both English as well as in Spanish. You will hear from our MSW graduate, Kelly Ha, in English, followed by our BSW graduate, Janice Rodriguez. Kelly Ha is our graduating Masters of Social Work student with a concentration in individual, groups, and families. Kelly is also campaign manager for the I Am Not a Virus organization, which was created as a response to the rise in anti-Asian discrimination in 2020. The global campaign has touched many with the I Am Not a Virus photo series, Asian American Identities Mental Health Workbook, and the introduction of the first bill in the country to mandate AAPI studies in Connecticut's high school curriculum. Kelly is dedicated to destigmatizing mental health in BIPOC communities, addressing intergenerational trauma, and making mental health resources and services accessible for all. Her work is an homage to her immigrant family who has sacrificed so much for her to be in the place she is today. During her time in the MSW program, Kelly has been part of the Graduate Student Organization and the Urban Service Track. Kelly is the School of Social Work's Outstanding Senior Woman Academic Achievement Award recipient, a finalist for the Uniday's 2021 Student Woman of the Year, and the recipient of the Robert T. Kenney Scholarship, as well as the Frank V. Carollo Scholarship. Janice Rodriguez is a Bachelor of Social Work graduating student who is passionate about enhancing the well-being of others with a focus on empowering marginalized populations. With her BSW degree, she plans to be an advocate and activist for communities of color as well as families, using her social work skills, lessons, and trainings she has developed throughout the program. She also espouses the social work values and ethics throughout her tenure as a student, both in the classroom and in her field placement, as well as in her personal life, as she is a foster parent of 2 children. Currently, Janice is completing her field placement in the senior field unit called the Senior Loneliness and Isolation Project, where she was paired with seniors who are alone and in some cases homebound to provide companionship and support. Additionally, Janice also served on the school's Hispanic Heritage Month committee and co-facilitated the kickoff event alongside a Latin faculty member. Outside of the School of Social Work, she tutors 8th graders and most recently was a residential case manager for youth ages 18 to 24.
It is my honor to address you all today for our Class of 2021 School of Social Work commencement. It is safe to say that our journey here has not been predictable. If anything, it was far from it. Not only because we've been finishing our final year aligned due to the pandemic, because we are also a diverse crowd of those working full-time, parents, traditional students, and even those who have made career changes. We are blended, but all have the same mission. Although we cannot be together to celebrate our accomplishments, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. And you should be proud of your journey so far. Just know that it's only the beginning. We have had a unique learning experience given the times that we are in. With Zoom and WebEx, it seems like we have been absorbed into this virtual world. But the reality is, we have not only been experiencing the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, but also the rise of racism against our BIPOC communities. We have been witnessing murders of the members of the Black community at the hands of police officers, overwhelming health disparities for low-income populations, and the Asian community being scared to leave their own homes for the fear of being attacked on the streets. Our world has been plagued by hate and broken systems. We have witnessed firsthand among our family members, friends, clients, and community members. We have seen inequities as they play out in real time, and we, the Class of 2021, are the vessels of change that our society so desperately needs. The need for social workers continues to grow as the current mental health crisis rages on. Our communities are in need of social workers to create programs and opportunities that assist in the development of long-term growth. As we all know, your environment can impact who you are and who you become, and we will work tirelessly to defend our communities from systematic oppression so that equal opportunities can truly be meant for all. I am honored and humbled to call you all my future colleagues. The realm of social work is endless. Whether you end up in hospitals and become a healthcare leader, run your own nonprofit, or even in politics as the next president, know that we belong in these spaces and we deserve to take up space. With this, I challenge you to take the advice you would give to your clients. As much as we advocate for others, we must also be fierce advocates for ourselves. I challenge you to advocate for the pay you deserve, the position you want, and the treatment that you are worth. I challenge you to allow yourself to feel worthy of all the successes you have. I want you to remember that it is okay to make mistakes. Social work is a forever evolving field, so we must understand that we are forever learners. We must accept and adapt to changes while also vowing to prioritize growth. When we accept that our learning has concluded, we do a disservice to the communities we work with. Maintain boundaries for yourself and for those around you. Stop villainizing the word no. Say no to overworking yourself. Say no to those who do not support you. Say no to self-doubt. We are only at the start of our journey. We cannot allow ourselves to burn out with compassion fatigue. Remember that theory does not only exist in our practice with our clients, but it manifests in our personal lives as well. As adults, our adult relationships may be a reflection of our experiences with our caregivers. The School of Social Work has been our caregivers for the past 2, 3, 4 years that we have been here. They have been supporting us in our ambitions, pushing us to reach higher, and nurturing our brains. They have made sure that we have a secure attachment so we can explore and discover new realms, be confident to network with those around and away from us, and most importantly, that we know that this is a secure base, that we will always have a home at the School of Social Work. Class of 2021, we did it. I challenge you to speak up when you see injustice. As social workers, we are leading this fight. We are the ones with the tools to advocate for a more just world. We will not rest until those we serve have a voice. And until that happens, we will create the noise. Thank you.
Bienvenidos. Es un honor para dirigirme a todos ustedes hoy para el comienzo de nuestra clase de 2021 en la Escuela de Trabajo Social. Es seguro decir que nuestro viaje aquí no ha sido fácil, no solo porque hemos estado terminando nuestro último año en una pandemia, sino porque somos una multitud única de personas que trabajan a tiempo completo, padres y que cambiaron de carrera. Estamos muy mezclados, pero todos tenemos la misma misión. Aunque no podemos estar juntos para celebrar nuestros logros, quiero que sepan que estoy muy orgullosa de usted y debería estar orgullosos de su viaje hasta ahora. Solo debes saber que solo comenzó. Nuestra experiencia de educación ha sido única. Con Zoom y WebEx parece que estamos en un mundo virtual, pero la realidad es que solo hemos estado experimentando los efectos de la pandemia de COVID-19, sino también el aumento del racismo contra nuestras comunidades, con la comunidad afroamericana muriendo a una gran velocidad debido a la brutalidad policial y la inequidad de salud, y la comunidad asiática con miedo de dejar sus propias casas por miedo a ser atacada en las calles. Este es nuestro sistema. Hemos sido testigos de este impacto de primera mano con nuestras familias, amigos, clientes y miembros de la comunidad. Hemos visto lo injusto que es el sistema y nosotros, la clase de 2021, somos los retadores y el cambio que este sistema necesita. La necesidad de trabajadores sociales sigue creciendo debido a la crisis de salud mental que estamos atravesando actualmente. Nuestras comunidades necesitan trabajadoras sociales para crear programas, oportunidades y ayudar a desarrollar el crecimiento a largo plazo. Como todos sabemos, su entorno puede afectar quién es y en quién se convierte. Queremos que nuestras comunidades tengan igualdad de oportunidades y que ya no sean oprimidos por los sistemas de este país. Con esto, te desafío a que sigas los consejos que darías a tus clientes. Aboga por ti mismo. Por mucho que abogamos por las demás, también debemos abogar por nosotros mismos. Lo desafío a abogar por el salario que se merece, el puesto de que sea y el trato que merece en el trabajo y en sus relaciones. Recuerde que está bien cometer errores. El trabajo social es un campo en constante evolución. Debemos entender que siempre somos aprendices. Nunca debemos estar cerrados al cambio. Debemos aceptar que nos equivocamos. Cuando aceptamos que nuestra educación ha terminado, hacemos un servicio a las comunidades con las que trabajamos. Establezca límites para usted y los que le rodean. Deja de maldecir la palabra no. Sea consciente de cuánto puede dar de sí mismo a su comunidad. Cuando te cuidas, estás haciendo lo mejor que puedes ser para tus clientes y para tu alma. Recuerde que la teoría no solo existe en nuestras prácticas con nuestros clientes, sino que también se manifiesta en nuestras vidas. Como adultos, nuestras relaciones pueden ser un reflejo de nuestras experiencias con nuestros cuidadores. La Escuela de Trabajo Social ha sido nuestros cuidadores durante los últimos años que estamos aquí. Nos han estado apoyando en nuestras ambiciones, empujándonos a llegar más alto y nutriendo nuestros cerebros. Se han asegurando de que tenemos un vínculo seguro para que podamos explorar y descubrir nuevos reinos, tener confianza para relaciones con quienes están a nuestro lado y lejos de nosotros también. Y lo más importante es que sabemos que esta es una base segura, que siempre tenemos un hogar en la Escuela de Trabajo Social. Es un honor para mí llamarlos a todos mis futuros colegas. clase de 2021 lo hicimos. Espero que hables cuando seas testigo de la injusticia. Como trabajadores sociales, estamos liderando esta lucha. Somos los que tenemos las herramientas para abogar por un mundo más justo. No vamos a descansar hasta que todos los que servimos tengan una voz. Y hasta que eso suceda, creemos ruido. Gracias.
Thank you, Kelly and Janice, for your remarks to your classes centering the importance of the relationships you have developed with one another and emphasizing the responsibility to advocate for your profession as well as your clients. On behalf of the program directors, Dr. Lisa Workmeister Rosas for the BSW program, Dr. Brenda Kurz for the MSW program, and Dr. Scott Harding for the Ph.D. program, congratulations. We are extremely proud of you and look forward to hearing of all your future success. At this time, our students will be recognized via a slideshow. Students were asked to submit photos and other information which you will see displayed. Please enjoy, and again, congratulations.
Please join me in thanking the faculty and staff for their commitment and devotion to you throughout these past years, which has sustained you and enriched us all. I salute each of you new graduates and have great gratitude for everything you have taught us and each other. The struggle is not over. Social work calls. Work hard, take care of yourselves, and have fun. Thank you.